Alright guys, as you can see I got a lot of goodies out this time. I figured I'd change up the scenery a bit, and in this video we're going to go through and we're just going to run the numbers basically on each rifle. I'll give you all of the specs, and it'll all be right from the book. No opinions, just right out of the book. And then we'll talk about the different things that I have out here. So we'll go ahead and get started at the top. Up here is the 480 round battle pack. This is what they look like, and this is the sealer. This indicates that the pack has never been opened. It's still factory sealed. And here is the tag, and it says 480 Nombre Numero 75mm Gewehr Patron 1911, which just means rifle cartridge 1911. So these are what's comprised the inside of it. 480 rounds packed into these 60 round packs that are wax paper and wax sealed shut, totally waterproof. You could take this and drop it in the lake and it'd be just fine. Then over here I have my Privy Partisan soft points, full metal jackets, more GP11, and then more Privy Partisan. So that's kind of my Swiss ammo dump, or at least part of my Swiss ammo dump anyway. Here's the look at the GP11 round, and we'll take a good look at this Privy Partisan soft point for you hunters out there. It's really a nice bullet. I want to get a video of me shooting ballistics gel with it, because it's really a nice bullet. I'd really like to see what the expansion is on it. And then here's the Privy Partisan full metal jacket. Again, also a very nice looking round. Very mean looking. So, anyway, for those of you who have just tuned in, we're going to start at the top with this 1911 here that I have, walnut stocked. And let's just dive right in. The 1911 has a barrel length of 30.7 inches. It is a 4-groove barrel with right-hand twist rifling, concentric rifling, one twist every 10.63 inches. However, serial numbers 350,001 through 365,000 have a twist rate of 1 and 9. The weight empty is 10 pounds. The overall length is 51.5 inches. So it is a long rifle. The action is of course a Schmidt Rubin straight pull. It has a 6-round detachable box magazine. The sights are tangent leaf sight graduated to 2,000 meters, and it had a total production run of 127,000 rifles. So it's actually a fairly rare rifle if you think of how many are actually still in Switzerland and then how many have been imported around the world. And I don't know if the US is the only importer. I'm not sure on that, but I don't believe there are. So there really aren't that many around. It is a rare piece. 127,000 worldwide ain't much. And another thing I want to bring your attention to is that a lot of people have been asking me accuracy and range 1911 versus K31. And basically all I have to say to you about that is, well, first off, the Swiss didn't mess around with their rear sights. If the rifle couldn't reach the distance with an average soldier shooting, not a professional, if it couldn't reach out and touch, it wasn't on their sights. So that being said, the 1911 zeroes itself, meaning with the sight all the way down, all the way back. 300 meters is the zero, and it's graduated out to 2,000 meters. Alright, whereas the K31 starts at 100 meters and goes out to 1,500 meters. Now both rifles are capable of shooting beyond those distances, but this one definitely more accurate. And even though you can't get a scope, which severely inhibits it, there are diopter, or however you say it, diopter, that's how it's done. There are diopter sights out there available for it that are really nice, highly accurate peep sights where people are really reaching out and touching with those. And those are very nice, and I actually plan on picking up a pair. So anyway, that is it for the 1911. Oh, no it's not, my bad. The action, I forgot to say, rated to 95,000 psi. I actually have a video, or not a video, a picture, which may end up being a video, because I'm trying to figure out how to upload it, and it's hard to see because it's black and white, but it's where they did the 95,000 pressure test on the chamber, and it blew the barrel, split the barrel in half right here, and blew it up from here forward, but there was no damage from here back, and the bolt held just fine. I've got a picture of that, and like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to get it up and get it up for you guys to see. But the action is rated at 95,000 psi, and that's a lot of pounds per square inch. So let's move now into the K31, which is these next two rifles here. Their barrel lengths are 25.65 inches. They also have a 4-groove right-hand concentric rifling, and they also have a one twist every 10.63 inches in their rifle, so 1 in 10.63. Overall length is 43.6 inches. Weight empty is 8.85 pounds. Action is of course the straight pull Schmidt Rubin. Capacity is a 6-round detachable box magazine, and these had a total production run of 528,230. So that's pretty much all of that. And then as far as a kind of interesting note, the 1911 fired 100,000 rounds of GP11 continuously before a malfunction. The K31 fired 150,000 rounds continually without a malfunction. So that's, that's pretty amazing. I don't know any other rifle that's passed that kind of stress test. And then back to the K31s. In 1946, starting with serial number 868901, beech rather than walnut was used for the making of their stocks. So if you have a beech stocked K31, you know it was 1946 or later. So, and then the most interesting thing about this whole video is the K31, for those of you who don't know, stayed in frontline service until 1958 when it was replaced by the STGW-57. K31s were still found with some Swiss military units well into the 70s. So it was mid to late 70s before the K31 was totally, phased out. So it was the longest serving frontline full-time duty rifle bolt action in the world. They started, the K31 at least, they started making them in 1933 is when the formal production run began, and it went from 1933 to 1958, and then they were used all the way through the 70s. So that, if that tells you anything, because the Swiss are a very modernized country. If they didn't think, it could make the cut, it wouldn't be used. And that is a heck of a service life for a bolt action rifle. So anyway, any questions on that? Go ahead, like I said, always comment, PM, and I'll go ahead and give you guys a little teaser. Here are the two bolts, the 1911 K31, and we'll get a disassembly video up soon. But as you can see, the 1911 bolt's mass is 10 times the K31, and the one thing that I don't like about the K31 bolt, and this is the one thing I don't like about Swiss rifles, in general, it's like the one thing I don't like, is in the 1911, as you can see, the charging handle is massive, very thick, highly polished steel, and it connects to the main bolt body with a very thick piece of steel. Now, on the K31, however, it's a thin piece of steel. Alright, it's still every bit as reliable, but it is a slightly more prone to breakage under adverse conditions than this one is. And not the whole bolt, just the charging handle. And, when they were making them, that was just fine because this piece is cheap as all get out to produce. But today, where they're not still making them, finding one of these would be a pill. But you only have to worry about that if you're actually in combat, because it only happens under really, really stressful conditions, and then only then it was very, very rare cases where this was found to break. I mean, they were adverse situations that they were putting the rifles through. It's not something, that happened on a regular basis. It's just something that bugs me, because I like to, be totally prepared as far as my rifles are concerned, because, I don't like to have to be at the mercy of trying to find something and then waiting for it to show up. And with these parts, you may find it on the line, but you may not know the buyer, and you might send your money off and never get anything. So I try to collect as many spare parts for these surplus rifles as I can. But anyway, that's about it. This is the next video in that series of videos about the Swiss rifles. Let me know if you guys are enjoying these, and I'll see you guys later.